The Unsolved Northwest team is working to bring some of Washington's 3,000 open murder and missing persons cases back into the spotlight. Earlier this year, we covered the disappearance of a Tacoma toddler, a woman's quest for closure after nearly 5 decades and more. Here's a collection of the most recent stories our Unsolved Northwest team has worked on.
It's a scrapbook that my mom had made herself. These are all photos as she's dating my father. They met when she was 16. That's her graduation photo. I have pieces of her. I have glimpses of what I think the kind of person that she would be, but I don't have her. I don't have my own memories. I am Suzanne Timms, and I am the daughter of Patricia Otto. Never imagined when I was a little kid that I would be investigating a homicide, but I am definitely all in. I don't really remember anything other than the night she disappeared. I was a curious 3-year-old, so when I started hearing crashing and yelling, I went to go investigate. And my mother and father were in a physical argument. I remember him putting his hands around her neck, pushing her up against the wall, and then dragging her out of my sight. And that was the last time I saw her. He's never formally charged or identified as a suspect because there was never any smoking gun. However, he's clearly the only suspect because if you see this whole file is filled with reports proving that it's him, but they never were able to prove it. So in June of 2021, I follow missing persons pages, and I'm just flipping through it, and this image of myself scrolls up on the page, and it was obviously shocking because I'm on a missing persons page. So I click on the information, and it describes a Caucasian young female found in the Umatilla forest in 1978 wearing red pants and a white blouse. It's not a red skirt, it's red pants. And it's not a white sweater, it's a white blouse. There is no way this drawing is me dressed in the same clothes that my mother was wearing in 1976 when she disappeared.
This is the binder that I have that contains everything regarding the Finley Creek Jane Doe. My name is Melinda Jetterberg, and I'm the lead researcher and kind of civilian investigator on the Finley Creek Jane Doe case. I was online looking at the Doe Network. When I searched my state and county, I wasn't expecting to find anything, but there was one doe there, and it was this Jane Doe.
Late August 1978, a group of people who were hunting out here in Union County came across a shallow grave, and inside that grave was the skeletal remains of what is now known as the Finley Creek Jane Doe.
The area where Finley Creek Jane Doe was found is definitely within driving distance of Lewiston, Idaho, where she died.
Her father-in-law was there.
Yes.
And found the body.
Yes, he was an 8-year-old boy.
My father-in-law was a child. He was there on the hunting trip.
They were coming down for the evening, and it was getting to be dusk, and he said, "I think I found a body."
If this body was found in 1978 by family that I married into in 2010, it's almost like my mother's solving her own homicide from the grave.
Immediately, the whole case was scattered to different parts of Oregon. And just trying to keep track of all that is incredible. As I was flipping through these pages and came to that very last page, I saw case closed first, but then reading the things around it, it's like, wait a minute. Destroy the evidence? How can they destroy the evidence?
In 1990, Oregon State Police closed the case. They then sent the remains of the Finley Creek Jane Doe to a crematorium to be destroyed.
It would have been solved probably within the next few years with the advent of DNA if that had not happened. So very, very frustrating.
In this case, there is no body. If we had one tooth, one jawbone, one scrap of clothing, this case would be solved in 5 minutes.
We have hundreds of tiny pieces of circumstantial evidence, but it's the science, it's the scientific pieces that are missing. We are trying everything. And what gets really frustrating is the waiting.
The Lewiston Police Department says the Patricia Otto case is still open. The detective working the case believes the Finley Creek Jane Doe could be Patricia Otto, but there hasn't been enough evidence to prove it.
You can't just tell me that there's no hope. You just can't.
I am 99.9% convinced that Patty Otto is the Finley Creek Jane Doe.
I'll give Oregon that little 0.00 whatever percent. However, they haven't been able to provide any information that leads us to believe that this doe is someone else other than my mother. It's like for once she exists, and my entire life she didn't exist. No, she wasn't spoken about, she wasn't remembered, and now I have this group of strangers who are saying not only does she exist, she matters to them, and that gives meaning to my quest.
It was overlooked, overshadowed, like it didn't mean anything to anybody.
I want answers and I want closure. What happened to her? She was only 12 years old. My name is Charmaine Denise Sanchez. My sister is Carlota Maria Sanchez.
What was life like on the reservation?
It was a family-oriented, you know. Everybody knew everything. We came up here because Grandma was sick, like a vacation, okay? And I was 10, she was 12. She was supposed to go somewhere with my other cousin to a farm, and her name was Georgia. She didn't go with Georgia, she went with Elsie. Elsie was kind of a troubled child. She would go run away.
Did you know in your heart something was up?
Yes.
What did you know?
Well, I knew that she wasn't there, and I knew that they weren't believing me because I was just a punk 10-year-old kid. Two weeks went by, and she didn't show back up, and she never returned. They should have listened to me. That's all. They should have listened. Because that was 2 weeks that went by, and we could have had it right there, you know.
Some of the talk is that they caught a ride up through here, but no one can really, for 100% sure, say that they saw them. That's what makes it so hard in this investigation, is that there's not enough information to substantiate everything. So we're on the interior of the reservation. We're just north of Taholah. It's suspected that the girls kept walking this way. They could have been hitchhiking because there's a lot of vehicles that traveled that way. There's no proof of it though. That's the hardest thing about it.
Another challenge is that investigators had very little evidence to go on. Charmaine says Elsie's parents weren't around, didn't take any pictures. So all detectives have is a black and white grainy image that they work to touch up.
The case really never took off for anybody is because a runaway and or missing person was never something that you could just open a whole case on to start investigating everything. And then back then you would have, 4 to 5 different jurisdictions with tribal, federal, city, county, and state that may or may not look into the case. A lot of cases would get dropped or not even looked into. But now we have the technology and we have different departments to communicate with each other a lot. And that gets cases like this, cold cases, things start coming up and you get more information and you can work them even harder.
When I look at Carlotta, I see a very young girl. I have daughters, and I'm getting a little long in the tooth myself. And I look at her and I see an innocent child. And I can't imagine something bad falling upon her. My name is Clint Barefoot, Special Agent with the FBI. I work Indian country cases. That's my specialty, that's what I do. We were able to generate some information that led us to believe that there was something beyond two girls that ran away. Investigation's been productive. We've pursued a number of leads. We're working on vetting some of the information. We believe there are some folks in this community that have information as far as what's going on, and they may be haunted by it. And these folks may not have long left to find some peace before they leave this world. And maybe more importantly, to give some peace to the people who cared about Elsie and Carlotta.
That's our biggest goal right now, is let's get the girls home to their families and give the family some peace.
Right now, as an older woman, I see a young little girl. And God bless her, look at how tiny she is. She was my best friend. And she was my connection to life.
So you're still looking for him?
Absolutely. Every day. Every day.
We knew she did not run away. We were just hoping that whoever took her would just bring her back.
I can't believe it's been that long. In some ways, it seems like it just happened. This is Misty right here. Kelly Carlson, and I'm Misty's aunt. Got a phone call from my nephew who just said, Misty's gone. He said somebody came in the house and took her.
She was taken out of her bed.
Jeff Sage, who manages the apartment, shows us the window the alleged kidnapper reportedly crawled through, taking Misty while her two brothers slept inside.
He saw the man come in or the bathroom window, and he was so scared that he laid still, and he didn't hear any other sounds, and then he had fallen back to sleep. When he woke up another hour or so later, Misty was gone. We just started going door to door, checking the apartment complex. Within an hour of not being able to find her, we called the police. The two officers that showed up when we called them that first night were really convinced that she had just run away. It didn't seem to register that, someone had literally broken into the house and then she was gone. They were telling us things like, well, she'll probably turn up, she probably ran away. Misty wasn't the kind of child that would have taken off and ran away anyway. She was a very innocent child. And on the television, there was a news program, and they were pulling a body from the river. We turn, and in pulls the police into the driveway. We knew then that there was something very wrong. I can still remember it like it was yesterday, seeing her tiny little body there. There were what looked like to me to be bruising. Her hair was still wet. I remember asking the coroner, how long had she been in that water? And he said only a couple hours.
When Misty's body was found, she was only wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Initial autopsy reports show she drowned and had no damage to her feet. Police searched the shoreline and bridge for shoes and a jacket, but they never found any.
And there was no possible way for, an 11-year-old girl to get from her house across that bridge without somebody seeing her. My sister completely just mentally went away. I felt like I lost my sister and my niece that same day.
It really was unsettling. It was very terrifying. It definitely changed our lives. My name is Nicole Peterson. I am Misty May Micheletti's cousin.
It wouldn't be until February.
A month later, before her death was ruled a homicide, when lab reports came back, indicating that in fact she had been sexually assaulted.
Since 2018, the genetic genealogy community has solved over 1,000 cases. My name is Lisa Lewis, and I'm a forensic investigative genetic genealogist. From 1994 to now, the technology has improved so we can get a lot more DNA out of a lot smaller samples. It's really hard for us to even wrap our brains around how small of a sample is needed.
I'm not sure what DNA is left to be able to do that type of technology now. This is information that we're not really privileged to through the police department. 10 years ago, they submitted clothing and there was nothing. But maybe now, with new technology, more DNA could be found.
Vancouver police tell us if there is viable technology to solve Misty's case, they'll use it. Her case is still active and detectives continue to follow leads.
Look at how pretty she is. Not knowing it makes you crazy. After 30 years, I don't know if I'll live to see the closure.
Misty May Micheletti deserves justice. It's time to solve this, and it's time to bring justice to Misty and to her family. Whoever did this, we're gonna find you. We're not gonna stop until we do.
This is for you, baby girl. Mama will never give up in finding you. Just give me my daughter back. That's all I want.
2-year-old Tika Lewis vanished from the New Frontier Lanes bowling alley late last Saturday night.
Whoever did grab her up was probably watching us all night long.
Tacoma police now say they've logged nearly 700 tips.
I'll never give up hope on my daughter. I know she's out there somewhere.
My name is Teresa Chapesky, and I am the mother of missing Tika Lewis. On January 23rd of 1999, I went to New Frontier Bowling Alley. The bowling alley was packed. I mean, there was a whole bunch of families. There was kids running around. I went to go bowl, and I had turned around and seen that Tika was in the game machine. Threw the ball, turned around, there was no Tika. Immediately, my heart stopped. They had people going over there searching. The family was stuck, not knowing anything.
Detectives have been working through leads all week.
The minutes go by, the hours go by, and there's no news.
As the time passes, there's much more concern as far as what's happened with her.
Back then, there were no cameras. There were no videos of this incident. There was no physical evidence to look at and test to actually find out what happened.
Can you talk about what 25 years does to a case like this?
People forget. People's memories get replaced with what they think they remember. Time is not in our favor in this case.
I know it's been 25 years, and some people give up hope, but I can't, because I think my daughter's out there somewhere. But as the years go on and there's no trace of Tika, I don't know how I feel anymore.
It's a little girl. She deserves to live out her life, and a mom deserves to have her baby.
Deep down inside, my heart was ripped into pieces.
Tika's family returned to the spot where she was last seen.
This is where the bowling alley used to be, and now it's Home Depot.
What's behind you?
The rainbow. And I know it's my mom. She's watching over me today. She knows it's hard, and she's not here to help me through this day. So she's doing it another way. Mommy loves you, and I'll never give up hope in finding you. Hi, I have the 25 balloons.
So I just want to tell you we admire your strength, and we want you to accept the balloons as a gift from Dollar Tree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This means a lot to me. Thank you so much. For them to give us is amazing. Do I want to do this? No, I don't. But I have to for my daughter.
Tacoma Police.
Yeah, Teresa Chepesky for Tika Lewis.
I'll unlock the door for you if you want to walk in here.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for attending this event. It's a somber event, the 25th anniversary of the disappearance of Tika Lewis. Tika's no longer a 2-year-old girl. She is a 27-year-old woman.
I didn't think I'd have to do this another year, along as 25 years. I don't want to go another holiday without Tika. I'm pleading to the public now. I know somebody out there knows what happened to Tika or knows where Tika's at. You can pass out those candles. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight to Tika's vigil. I will be releasing 25 balloons for each year that she's been gone. Don't let them go yet until you write on them.
I have a pen right here if you want to write a sentiment on there. What are you writing?
I said I love you, Tika, and I want to see you so bad. And people out there, if you have any information, please, please give it to us. We need to find her.
She was the closest person that I had to me at that time, so she's always on my mind.
On the count of 3, you guys can release your balloons. 1, 2, 3. Let this be the last year. 25 years be the lucky year.